Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about sales cadence. Back in the day when I was a sales rep, we had two forms of communication when making sales calls. We had the phone and we had direct mail. Phone work was about 80% of what we did. And if you worked for a larger company, many times they would support you by sending out direct mail pieces or branding their company whatever way they want to do via direct mail. Today, there's a lot of other options available when making sales and marketing plans. So today we're going to talk about sales cadence, what it is, and how to implement it in your routine. So let's jump in here. So let's start with what is a sales cadence. Sales cadence, by definition, is a predefined sequence of sales activities and touch points spread out over intervals. What does this mean? It means how many times, in what form, are you reaching out to a prospect over what period of time? So, for example, my name is Rob. I want to go after ABC company. So I'm going to reach out to them in throughout different channels every other day for the next 30 days. That is your sales cadence. Sales and marketing isn't a one-time shot, and this is why sales cadence is so important. I remember back in the day, even though I knew better when I first had my store, I would send out a direct mail piece or I would put together a Google ad campaign or something. And for whatever reason, in my mind, I just waited for that door to fling open and all these customers to come running in, and it never worked like that. Sales and marketing is not a one-time shot. It's something that needs to be done consistently on a daily basis. It needs to become part of your company's DNA. It's very important. So we have 5 cadence channels. Most places online are going to say 4. I say 5. And here are the 5 that I incorporate into my sales cadence. We have phone, we have LinkedIn, we have email, we have video, and then we have direct mail and or snail mail. These are the channels that you can use in your cadence. So this cadence, I want to start by saying that I did not put this cadence together. I took it off of the internet and I did it for a couple of reasons. The first one is it is a strong cadence and similar to one that I would have put together myself, but more importantly, to prove a point that a cadence does not have to be a static piece like this. There is no right or wrong way to incorporate a sales cadence. The important piece is that you are going through over a period of time, incorporating various touches and penetrating the accounts that you are looking to go after. So, some key points about a sales cadence: it should be fluid, as I mentioned. You don't have to do a LinkedIn connection request on day one. If you're more comfortable having it on day 3, go for it. In fact, I usually would not do a LinkedIn connect request first. I would do an email first and then lead into a LinkedIn Connect request, which would then generate or prompt a phone call. So again, this is by example only, but it is a strong cadence and one you can absolutely incorporate. On average, there are about 8 to 11 touches in a sales cadence. I think we have 11 here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 11 touches here over a 21-day period. And a sales cadence should be manageable. What does that mean? If you have a list of 100 or 200 leads, this is going to be extremely hard to manage unless you're doing it all day long. But assuming you're running a business or have other responsibilities, it's just not manageable. So what I have taught my people to do and what I do in my world is 10, 15, 20, somewhere in there to really go after them hard. Now, one thing I do also is because my emails are day one, actually even before day one, I send out a lot of cold emails first. I send out about 2 to 300 per day. And as responses, replies, open rates, as I analyze the data of those emails, kind of determines where if they appear on my cadence or not. In addition, as I'm running through many of these emails, I'll come across a company or something that sparks interest, and I will then put them onto a cadence. I don't put all of them on, is the point I'm trying to make. So again, you want to make sure it is manageable. So we have here LinkedIn connection request, day one, then email, cold call, voicemail, email, cold call, cold call. So pretty standard all the way through. And then a breakup email on day 21. And a breakup email, we'll talk about it in a second. There are Be careful with breakup emails because as soon as you send it out, that means you have to live with that breakup. So I don't necessarily do breakup emails. I do more of a separation email. Look, I'm not going to keep bothering you. I'm not going to keep sending you emails. If you would like to talk in the future, let me know. In the meantime, if we have something of value, I will send it out to you. This way, you can still put them on some sort of drip campaign or something where you could still touch them every once in a while, but not officially breaking up with them. But not saying this is wrong. I just do things a little bit differently. Many will have breakup emails in their cadence. So let's break it down a little bit. So days 1 through 3 are connections and initial outreach. They're saying here, send LinkedIn request, no note. Again, you send LinkedIn whenever you feel it fits in your business. One thing to recommend is you don't send a note in an email or in a LinkedIn, sorry. You just send the request. Statistics say that it increases the odds of connecting by 89%, not including a note. Follow that up with a 75 to 100 worded email. Email, it's extremely important that you get your subject line right on, because if they don't open your email, your anything you wrote in the email is going to be irrelevant. So you got to get something to entice them to click on that email that you sent. And that takes work, that takes skill, and that takes time to learn, but you can, especially with AI. You want to have your first sentence kind of have the entire context of that email in the first sentence, so someone can glance at it and see immediately what this email is going to be about. And you want to, it says here, ask for interest, not a meeting. Are you open to an email exchange? You could do that. I also, can I send you something? If you have a lead magnet or you have something of value that touches on one of the pain points they may be experienced or are experiencing, you can absolutely ask that in the email as well. And you can ask for a meeting. I would take this not for gospel, because if an email exchange happens to go well, or a phone call goes well, or something, you just have a good feeling, ask for a meeting. The most that they'll do is say no, and then you come back with, okay, no problem. Do you mind if I at least send you something in the meantime? Again, there is no exact way to do this. It's whatever fits in your style. Day 3, call, leave voicemail, and then say that you'll email, send a follow up email. Absolutely. Remember, this is 4 touches, and that's awesome. It's great for maximum engagement, but you don't want to be calling, leaving a voicemail, sending an email every other day. Touch is okay, but you don't want to bombard them. So, you know, be aware of what you are doing. Day 5 to 7 are your follow-up calls and objection handling. So continue calling if and don't leave voicemail after day 3. Agreed. I would normally not leave voicemails either. If connected, address objection with tailored solutions. Highlight benefits tied to prospects' pain points. Anytime you are making a call into a customer, whether it's your first cold call or your 100th call, you always want to be prepared to address objections. I don't have time for this call right now. I'm not interested. I'm not in budget. You're overpriced. Whatever those objections are, you want to be prepared for them on any call that you're making. And of course, you want to highlight benefits tied to a prospect's pain points. This also goes back to part of the manageability piece I mentioned a couple slides back as well. When you get somebody on this cadence, these are not super cold. They can be, But again, because of manageability, I sort of tend to put like my white elephants, 10, 15, 20 accounts. And when I do that, I do a little research. I learn their pain points. Maybe I make some discovery calls within the company and not even talk to the decision maker, just talk to employees throughout. Learn what you can so when you do have a chance to talk to the decision maker or whomever you're speaking with, you can address objections and highlight the benefits tied to the pain points. Day 7 through 10 is a personal touch, video, and email. I really like videos. I think that they make such a huge impact. However, a year ago, I rarely did a video because it was such a pain to do the editing and put things together. Today, with AI, it is such a breeze. And in a few slides, I will share who I use for my AI videos. But a video does help humanize your outreach and stand out. Absolutely. Send an email on day 10 as well. Acknowledge the persistence. Absolutely. Say something, Mr. Customer, I've emailed you 3 times now, or I've made calls into you. I'm working hard to get in front of you. Whatever it is that you want to say. Again, bring up common industry pain. Link to your solution. Ask for 15 minutes. Can we walk you through our business case? Again, just like as I mentioned in the previous one, you can ask for a meeting at any time. You should always be asking for something. But if you're not comfortable asking for a meeting here, go back to sending them something. But if you feel that the moment it's time to ask for that meeting. There's nothing wrong with them saying no, and you say, okay, not a problem, and you take a step back, send them something, make a call in a week, whatever, and then ask for a meeting again. Day 13 to 15, continued outreach and social proof. So day 13, cold call to follow up. And now here, day 15 is another email. Include customer quote or case study, 100%. That's social proof. Example, customer saw ROI in 2 days using our XXX. Ask, is this worth a conversation? And I'm going to get into more in emails here in just a second to kind of show you the flow that I use when sending emails. But absolutely, social proof, case studies, testimonials, it is so important these days, especially if you're just getting started. Part of this can kind of make or break things with the customer, so keep that in mind. Day 18 to 21 is sort of your final touch and breakup email. Call, leave a voicemail, let them know this is the last try, 100%. Breakup email, ask for feedback. Where did I miss the mark? Keep door open for future conversations. I don't normally ask where did I miss the mark. And the reason I don't, not saying you can't, but the reason I don't is if somebody cold calls me or emails me or whatever out of the blue, telling me about a service that they have without ever talking to me to determine if I need that service, there is no miss the mark. I just don't need your service. There is, you took a chance, it didn't work. And that's okay. So you do what you're comfortable with. I don't ask for feedback. So let's just take a step back to email format here. Let me go back to the slide. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 emails, and then 5 emails total. This is a breakup email. So in my slide, I mentioned this in a presentation I did prior to this one. When I'm doing emails, any type of marketing, I follow IDA: awareness, interest, desire, and action. This is what I try to accomplish in my marketing/email strategy. So, email format, awareness, interest, desire, and action. So, first email is awareness. What does that mean? Hi, this is Rob from Railis Services, and I help businesses generate leads by doing the following, for example. So now I'm showing who I am and how I can help them and address their pain points at the same time. Email 2 is interest. What is interest? This is a perfect time to incorporate a testimonial or a case study, something that kind of follows the awareness format, but again, kind of gets them a little bit more interested, one step closer to whatever the final call to action is. In many cases, it's a meeting, it's a call, whatever it is for your business. Third email is desire. As I mentioned in a previous one, many times I kind of put interest and desire together as one, but I don't always. So in this case, desire. It's taking that testimonial, taking that case study, and bringing it one step further. Maybe a secondary case study, or maybe something that shows you have knowledge, something in an industry statistic or something that kind of complements things can create desire. And then action is going to be that final piece. Look, we got to meet. Here's why we should meet. Let's get together and talk. Right? It's time to take action on that final piece. So this is the format that I follow. And when it comes to AI, I use HeyGen for my AI videos. It's inexpensive and it works very easily. I am not affiliated with them. I'm not getting paid to say any of this. It's just who I use. It's a good company. It's an easy company to work with, so I highly recommend it. And remember snail mail, as I mentioned in the early cadence slide in the channels, snail mail works. It absolutely works. I had about a couple years ago in my last company, we had a customer that was mad at us, and it was before my time. When I came on board as a director, I wanted this customer back, and so we kept the sales rep were sending email after email. It wasn't getting anywhere. I did the exact same thing, only I did it in a letter form. I sent it in the mail to make sure that they received it. They did, and we ended up getting the opportunity back with this customer just because it's just a little bit different. So don't forget about snail mail. Utilize AI for unique subject lines and hooks in your emails. Remember, you got to get them to click on that email if you want to take them through their journey. And the first step in getting them to click is a strong subject line. And as I say in almost every video, test, 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 test constantly. I am always testing subject lines. I'm always testing things and just stirring things up just to see what other traction I can get, whether good or bad. Rejection tips and closing. Anybody who has done this for any length of time knows that rejection is part of the process. Don't take it personally. You just can't, because it will eat you alive. They're going to hang up on you. They're going to say no. They're going to come into your funnel, out of your funnel. It's just a way of life. So view each response as a chance to learn 100%. You can ask them, what can I improve for next time? Be cautious on that, because if somebody just is not interested in your service, or maybe it just doesn't fit right now because of budget, there wasn't anything that you could have done to improve except drop your price to free. So be careful on that. You can ask for feedback for apples to apples. If you lose a project to one of your competitors, you can ask, where did we miss the mark as an organization? I would not ask as a sales rep personally, but again, you got to do what you're most comfortable with. Be respectful of their time. Don't bombard people. It's just, you cannot force somebody to make a decision. I mean, maybe you can, but you really want to. People need to make decisions based upon the solution that fits the need at a price that is within their budget or close to their budget. Forcing, bombarding, calling all that, it's just, you're just going to make them mad. So lastly here, let's build your growth engine. Sales is not about chasing leads. It's creating a repeatable system that engages, adds values, and earns trust over time. This is not a one-time shot. This is not something you could do a couple times and forget. You need to create systems that constantly fill your pipeline with new opportunities. So we use a cadence to stay consistent, so we're not just randomly reaching out today to different places. Personalize your message, but follow a proven path. That proven path needs to be created by you for your particular business and for your particular sales style. Leverage video, email, and follow up to stand out. Do things a little bit differently, especially with AI. Prompt it, give you some really crazy suggestions, brainstorm. And always learn from each interaction. I cannot say that enough, because it is not just a cadence, it's your competitive edge. I can almost guarantee you that your competitors may be following a cadence, but are not following it consistently day in and day out. But most companies just don't, because it's very difficult to do. So if you can build those routines now, it will pay huge dividends later on. And as always, if you need help with any of this, please reach out, info@robrailis.com, or go to my website, robrailis.com. As always, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care now.